from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as we get set for football at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. They'll run for the first time here with Brown. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
On second down. It's Brown. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards there and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
No, I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
That one, a first down pickup of 8.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
All runs on this drive so far. It's first and 10. They go right back to the ground here, and Brown, they juked him. And able to work his way down to the 16. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. The impressive opening drive continues, and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
They run with Breida, and he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front, because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
On first down, Brown. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. A loss of 2 there, second down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
A rare misstep on that last play, because the drive has been strong, but now it's second and 12.
Just like that. Just like that.
And now Jackson will look to throw it. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Now this now, play number 9 on the opening drive, but it's third and long.
Rush in. Check. 53's mine. Check. 53's mine. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Now it's Jackson. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Myles Garrett able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 24. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Mayfield hands to Chubb on the draw, and that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield.
Pressure comes, and down goes Baker Mayfield. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go.
There's a hush indeed. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Breida, he'll try the right side. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. And that will be incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. 12 yards on the return that time, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts it towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
The UCLA product, Kenny Young, had the tackle.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the Ravens' 43-yard line.
Play fake. Mayfield. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks it. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. Short throw, pick six right there, those linebackers. They love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On second down, it's Edwards. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
At the Browns' 37-yard line.
53's mine. Check 53's mine.
On second down, a run with Breida. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
in danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. And it's Clinton Dix with a pick. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. From the gun, Mayfield. He finds Beckham complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 10, and the Browns are going to get a first down. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They give to Chubb out of the gun. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. And this will be incomplete. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have gets chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions maybe in the back of his mind. Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
This one away by the punter, Dar. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. A scoring update from the southern edge of Ohio down in Cincinnati. And the Steelers there out to an early lead. Ben Roethlisberger, a single touchdown pass to this point in that one. They'll start on the ground with Breida. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Undercrush, undercrush, undercrush.
From the 41, Jackson. That's into the hands of the tight end, Boyle. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a carry for Brown. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Check safety, check safety. Showing up. Switch. Mike, 53.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with Breida. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Well, they're currently the best in the NFL in converting on third down, so it was no surprise there that they picked that one up.
And they've done it in many different ways throughout the season, Charles. Picking it up, running it, throwing it, just effective on third downs all year long. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. So a big pickup that time. And Charles, defending AFC Player of the Week, maybe bucking towards another award this week.
Yeah, and they say they don't really care about the individual awards. You and I both know
they do.
It means a lot to them. It means respect around the league. And if he's able to show those kind of hands all game long, he can win a second one.
They'll run on first down. Brown. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Number 53. Set the tone, good. Set the tone, defense, let's go. Sponge.
Now a give coming right is Breida. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Matt Breida, as the first half is winding down, and the Ravens have retaken the lead. So they're able to capture the lead here just before halftime.
And not only that, they get the ball to start the second half.
That's right.
This is almost like basketball down the stretch, right, where you get the 2-for-1 situation where you try and get 2 shots to your opponent's 1. In this situation, they got the touchdown. They'll get another shot at to start the second half.
Could be a big turnaround. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Cleveland offense ready to go. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Mayfield got him in. It's Brown. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Here we go. Check. Alert 33.
Final play of the half, Mayfield. He finds his target, Beckham. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Now on 2nd and 13, Mayfield. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. Mayfield to throw it. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
To throw, Mayfield. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. Here's Matt Darr now as he's on to punt for Cleveland. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field.
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Jakeem Grant, an 80-yard touchdown as the Ravens push further out in front. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah,
then
right.
with the Eagles?
That's right. It's them with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Running right, here's Brown. He'll have a 1st down inside the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown with touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. As the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. The Browns drive about to get started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Mayfield down. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And all of a sudden they're knocking on the door inside Baltimore's 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
2nd down and goal. Mayfield. Through an opening, and there he goes. He's at the 40, the 20, 10, and he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
It shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And following the pick 6, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this ride.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They defer to Brown to start the drive. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. Past the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown becoming just the 2nd player with 30 touchdowns in a single year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the play. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
He's going to air one out. And now here is another interception. interception. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm. Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Slam, slam, slam. Let's go, let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. He's tired of me. He's tired of us.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Breida. He's going to have the first down past the 20. And nothing but daylight ahead. He's at the 30. 10. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Matt Breida, 94 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
And again, it's Chubb. It's a pickup of 6, and that is going to do it for this third quarter.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The Browns on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. He sets to fire deep. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Tony Jefferson. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
At the 31-yard line.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
6 guys. Check 6 guys.
Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold.
And now look at him go. The 30. And he takes this way down deep into Cleveland territory. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 47 yards on the ground. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down.
You gonna see me in your nightmare.
They run. It's Mark Ingram. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 12 more yards there and another first down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that'll bring up a second and goal. Now a give right side. It's Brown, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up an interesting third and goal.
Ready? 53, Mike. Here we go. Let's box. Right. Set. Cut. Ready, go.
They'll try and run. Edwards. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. You know what? I know it's 4th down and they've got a big lead, but go for it.
Yeah, and why not, right? Because they have the big lead. But don't you have to have a little bit of admiration for these guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've been shoved around this entire game, and they're making a nice goal line stand here. It would be fun to see them stop them on 4th down, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's like putting whipped cream on broccoli at this point.
So what you're saying is they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going to get it, aren't they?
I would. The Browns' drive about to get started. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Tim Williams makes the tackle. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Mayfield this time gets it off to Chubb. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards there and a first down.
180. King.
A first down throw from Mayfield. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. They'll run with Chubb. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from the 1. They'll give it to Chubb. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. And this is going to be intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Ravens, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, the loss will drop them to 6-3 now on the year. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until Week 11. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.